Right, hello guys, welcome to another video. You join me in the lovely countryside behind me. Yeah, kind of a follow-up video to my Google Pixel 2 unboxing video, which has got quite a lot of views. I think it's on 50k now, so thanks very much for watching that. It's been 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks now with the phone. The iPhone 10 is gone now, that's out of my possession, so I can't literally go back to it, but I don't care about that anyway because I'm not going to go back to it because this has been very, very good since I've had it. It's held up, very, very pleased with it. So yeah, let's get onto the camera then. Oh, what the f***? No, I can't do it here. Can't do it. We've had to come back up here because we were getting attacked by flies. It was very annoying. Okay, so we've got rear and front camera. One camera on the front and only one on the back. Other cameras do have this dual lens thing going on like the iPhone 10. So yeah, front camera we've got 8 megapixels and it's a 2.4 aperture. And it's very, very wide. You can see pretty much your whole body if you're kind of holding it arm's length. On the rear camera we have a 12 megapixel 1.8 aperture. Single lens, and this camera boasts very, very much to do with software. It doesn't use a second lens to zoom in, it doesn't use a second lens for the portrait mode and so forth, so it only uses one lens and a lot of it is software. Other things you need to know about this camera: it can do video obviously, so we've got slow motion 120 fps and 240 fps, which can be recorded in 1080, which is 1920 by 1080. You can do 4K 30, you can't do 4K 60, which the 10 could. I'm not too fussed about that. I mean, it's a phone. I only really used it once. I did like one video with the iPhone 10. 4K 60, it's not fussed about that. 4K 30 is still good if you need a backup 4K camera, you know, in this situation where if that runs out of battery in the middle of nowhere, I can film on my phone and still retain the 4K. Panorama mode, photosphere, which is quite cool, which you take photos like this all around and makes like a bubble thing which you can navigate around the screen on your phone. Portrait mode, obviously AR stickers, 3 HDR modes, so HDR off, HDR plus on, HDR plus enhanced. I see myself tend to be using the HDR plus quite a lot. HDR advanced, I don't tend to use that really because I don't really like the really enhanced photos. All it does, it kind of makes the sky really blue and lifts up the shadows, and if you're taking like green grass, it will make it really green. The situation where I would use the HDR advanced mode, HDR plus advanced mode, is in low light. It's really good actually, because if you take a, this camera is super good in low light. If you take it on the enhanced mode, it just enhances everything in the foreground through up to the shadows and the highlights, and you can get really nice low light photos. So I'd recommend that if you're taking a lot of low light stuff, but yeah, I just keep it in the HDR plus mode. With the portrait mode, you can get like a beauty mode which kind of smooths out your face and stuff. You can use that on non-portrait mode as well. When you flip the camera, it does that for you as well. I tend to like retouching my photos on my laptop anyway, so that is normally turned off. Turned on is a bit of a, you know, it's just a fun feature, but sometimes it does smooth out your face quite a lot and you do look like a doll, like a mannequin. So I usually have that off, but the portrait mode is really good. Like I said earlier, you can have it as arm's length and you can basically see, you know, your body, like it's like cutting here at the moment. My arm till there. Yeah, it's really good. So what can I say about this camera? I mean, I was very excited to use it. When I took it out of the box and took the first couple of photos out, it's just literally like, it's so easy to use. When you're in the camera, you can set it up, and on this side it's got the volume up and down, and you can just click away. It's incredibly fast. On the iPhone 10, the volume up and down was on this side, and you had to reach over here if you're right-handed to take the photo. But here, for right-handed people, it's so easy. You just click that. I rarely touch that button to take the photo. I always use the volume up and down button, and it doesn't matter if you click up or down. You can take the photo, and as you can see there, it's very fast. That's what I was mentioning earlier in the video, that software plays a big role in this phone. Because you don't have dual camera, there isn't kind of a zoom lens on the phone, and there's on the front facing camera, it's just one camera, and on the back it's just one camera as well. So software plays a big role, as in when you zoom in, it's just all software. And also with the portrait mode, it doesn't use a secondary lens, so that's software again as well. And software against lens, normally obviously I would choose lens, it's actually real lens, but here the software works really well. I'm buying up some portrait mode right now, as you can see. On the iPhone 10 I was experiencing where around the edge of the subject, you know, the blur line wasn't really consistent, but on the Pixel 2 I haven't seen yet any like break in the line where the blur ends or the blur starts. It's just seamless, continuous all the way around the subject. Really good. Also, it takes 2 photos for you. You can choose to keep one and bin the other. It takes a photo where it doesn't blur the background, and then you have a second one where it's the portrait mode. I tried this earlier in the park. I've taken a load of photos, so I'll throw these up now and then through the video. But earlier in the park, I tried to take a portrait photo of Hannah, like a full body photo, but it didn't pick it up. So I think there is kind of a point there where you have to be against the subject, probably about a meter or 3 foot in front of the lens to get the portrait mode. So yeah, actually it might be further than that, what, 1.5 meters or so, I don't know, but there is a limit there when the phone knows it's a portrait mode. On, say, on the iPhone 10, when you take a photo and if you're taking it in bright sunlight, you always get this overexposure, even indoors actually, when you can see highlight on the subject or highlight in the sky or whatever. It's always, on the iPhone 10 it always blew it out, but on this it's so consistent maintaining the exposure, even through the trees and stuff. You just won't get any like overexposure or kind of blowouts in the highlights. In the shadows as well, it's really good. So yeah, pretty much blown away with the camera. I've got some low light photos here which I'll throw up. Again, really good. You can even see the nice dusk colours through there for the sky. I would only say the zoom lacks a bit of quality, but because it's all in one lens, and when you zoom in, you get 7x zoom, and yeah, it's not that good in all modes. I mean, it is a bit blurry there, but then again, you're only using one lens. But yeah, with just a normal focal length, it's really good. Sharp, 12 megapixels. 1.8 aperture. It's just a stunning camera to use. Right, let's get on to the video then. I've shot a few video clips, haven't done that many in the 2 weeks I've had this phone, but I can say right now it is the most stabilized video I've ever seen in a smartphone. It's crazy. It's not kind of stabilized where you get like the wobbly effect, but it's like literally holding a camera on a gimbal. It's that good. Again, that is down to the very good software inside this phone. As I said, 240 and 120 FPS. Excellent video. As I said, it doesn't do 4K 60, but it does the 4K 30. I'll put a clip up of that as well. But yeah, I can say very good things. I can't really fault the video at the moment. It's so good. Well, only when you're zooming in, and then obviously because you're only using one lens, it doesn't switch to another lens like on dual cameras do on the back of the smartphone. But yeah, that's the only bit where you'd use a bit of quality is when you zoom in on this phone. But everything else through the 4K is so good. So easy to use. You literally use it for anything, and you know you're not going to get juddery and jumpy video. I've never actually experienced anything better than this camera in a smartphone. I know that's quite controversial and people are going to argue with me and stuff and throw in other brands here, but compared to the iPhone 10, which I've been using, and this, even though the iPhone 10's got dual cameras and it is very good for kind of if you want that extra length, and it is actually using another lens and the quality is there, but this, I think the software kind of blows out of the water every time you're taking the photo on like the normal focal length, using the lens and the normal focal length on the iPhone 10. This wins every single time with dynamic range through the shadows and the highlights, and it's perfectly exposed every single time. The HDR mode is much better than iPhones as well, I think. But yeah, that is my thoughts on this phone and the camera. Tried to throw up as many kind of sample shots as I can, but yeah, I've taken a lot of photos on this phone. I have got the 64 gig version. I probably will be using the Google Photos just to store them after I have maxed out this 64 gig. How many photos have I taken? Does it say how many photos I've taken? I can't actually see how many photos I've taken on this phone. If anyone knows how to actually see your photo count in your gallery, please comment down below because I can't see it anywhere. But it's saying I've taken 5.7 gig so far of photos and video. In 2 weeks, that is quite a lot, I would say. Yeah, I reckon it's about nearly, probably 1,000 photos so far, but I can't see any photo count for these. It just doesn't show anywhere. And yes, I have Assistant turned on for photos. So what that means, every day it kind of makes me like a little collage video, which is quite funny. I'll probably turn it off soon, but it is quite funny to see them come through. And if you take a lot of videos and Snapchats, and if you save Snapchat to your camera roll, it uses that as well. And there's been some funny ones. So yeah, I'll probably keep that on. But yeah, very cool. So yeah, I will be using the camera so much. It's so good for kind of just snaps, I would say, just casual snaps. On the home screen, you can double tap, or you can wake the phone. There's two options on Android, and the camera is in the bottom right corner. You can swipe up and there you have the camera, and you can use the volley button, like I said earlier, to take the photo. Also, if you're just on your home screen like this, double tap the power button and it takes you straight to the camera. So yeah, that's about it on the camera. I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, just a quick little insight to what I can do, my thoughts on it, and yeah, it's pretty much blown me away. So guys, if you do want a 1 to 2 month phone review on this, do comment down below, give me a thumbs up if you want that, and if you haven't seen my unboxing video, you can go back and watch that. Also, if you want a comparison with the iPhone 10, even though the iPhone 10's gone, it's not with me anymore, I still have all the photos, all the portrait mode photos, so I can go out with this, or even with the photos I have already, and compare them to the iPhone 10 portrait mode camera. So yeah, if you do want that, thumbs up and comment down below, and yes guys, I should be making them soon. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.